This past week, there was a story that was starting to make the rounds about Microsoft and the Xbox and it having a retail problem, specifically with one big retailer that was being named. However, we didn't have full confirmation from that retailer around the situation, but now we do. And it's starting to bring up the conversation of Microsoft's just their presence when it comes to retail or even just selling Xbox systems at this time. But it's actually something I've been thinking about for a long time because it is something that did come up in conversation quite a bit, even back in the day when digital games started to really get a foothold and, well, if we were going to really be able to sell consoles at all in the future. But we're going to go over that here today. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Now, let's take a look. This is over on gamesindustry.biz, and it says Costco stops selling Xbox consoles in UK and US. Now, gamesindustry.biz sort of goes over everything that happened here, as there was a report that got out from The Gamer as they were citing someone from Reset Era who noticed that on Costco's website, there was no Xbox section. And that appears to be something that's been going on for more than a few weeks now. And I guess people just started to notice. So I also went on Costco's website to look. There is a PlayStation, there's a Nintendo, and then there's also a VR section. So think about that for a minute. There's no Xbox section that I saw, but there's at least a VR section. That's interesting that VR has taken priority over Xbox, at least for Costco, big box store, and they sell in bulk, and you can go in there and get tons and tons of things like paper towels or all kinds of stuff there. So I'm not a big Costco shopper, but I do know that it was crucial when it came to having to get diapers and wipes and stuff years ago now. But Costco is still, I think, the third biggest retailer in the world, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not like a small retail chain. No, it's pretty large. And now we have confirmation from Costco themselves from two different sources here. So in this case, we had gamesindustry.biz, who was able to reach out after looking into all of this. And on the same day, they said they called the customer service department of a separate UK store, inquiring about purchasing an Xbox Series X, and we're told we don't actually have the Xbox anymore. So Costco now, and let me know if you've gone to your local Costco recently, and even if you're planning to go out in the next day or two, come back in the comment section, let me know down below. Do they have Xbox consoles out there that they're advertising? Because I assume that they have Nintendo with the Switch 2 just launched and people are buying that system up. It is brand new on the market currently. And the PS5, that also seems to consistently sell. I assume there are two sections for those without too much issue, but let me know if there's an Xbox section that you notice. And if not, let me know if they're stocking controllers or the Xbox gift card or the currency cards you can use on the store and stuff. So we have gamesindustry.biz dropping this confirmation in the UK. And we also had Destin, I noticed, he posted over on his social media account over on X, saying just called Costco about Xbox stock. It's told that they will no longer be carrying Xbox consoles. We don't have any plans going forward to carry an Xbox console, saying it was a business decision, which is interesting. They did say they have some great deals on Switch and PlayStation, though. Yeah, that sounds about right. So Microsoft is interesting in their current state. Mostly when it comes to the retail side, because for a while there, I had to do orders and arrangements and stuff for stores, specifically like the floor plans and stuff, like trying to set things up. And look, if you're out there right now and you're managing smaller, it doesn't have to be video games. Just if you have like a small business or something, you have to set up the store the best you can to make money. That is crucial. All right. So floor space is a premium when it comes to a smaller business. Of course, when you have 1,500 square feet, maybe at best to play around with. But when it comes to a big box store like Costco, and you're trying to stock everything, it's at even more of a premium because the amount of overhead that exists there. So with Microsoft, I've wondered, because this is something again that came up. Oh wow, this would have been 8 years ago now that I'm really thinking about this, when the conversations, no, maybe 9 years, when the conversation started to come up, because yeah, even at the smaller video game, like mom and pop kind of stores, the conversation was coming up about digital. And you could notice that sales were softer when a new game came out. There weren't as many people showing up day one to pick up the physical copy. And this was, like I said, 9 years ago or so. And now it's even more in favor of digital. So when I look at something like the Xbox, and we know that the sales have not been great for it, Microsoft has to announce at the very least how much it's dropped in terms of percentage, and it's constantly down 20%, down 25%, down 30%. And now you see the systems themselves. I mean, we're talking about a $650 1 terabyte Xbox Series X, and that's their flagship system. I know they have the Series S that starts at $400, but that's where we are. The Series S, the budget-minded console, at $400. And that doesn't have a disk drive. So if you're Costco and you're a retailer and you're about to sell a system that you don't make money on, the systems that we would order back in the day, and the PS4 and the Xbox One, great example. They're launching in 2013. We looked up and down the list of wholesalers that there were a bunch back then. Now most of them are gone at this point for gaming. But we noticed, oh wow, okay, these systems, when you go to buy a $400 PS4, it would cost us $398. Yes. And then guess what? They're shipping. So most of the time, especially early on, you would need to order a minimum of, I think 6 came in like a big box that you would get. And they would just be stuffed in there, like sideways and however they can do it. But then you would have shipping. And I think at that time it was like we divided it up $6 per system shipping. So they just lump it all together. So we would lose about $4 on each console, each PS4 would sell. The idea being, okay, we'll lose money on this, but maybe we can sell headsets, extra controllers where the margins are good. Like they're much, much better. And shipping doesn't really come into play as much with those smaller accessories. And you can put a whole bunch of them up on the and then of course games, especially as we got more and more trade-ins happening. It made a lot more sense then to stock systems to bring people in to buy the physical used games. Now Costco doesn't necessarily work on that same exact strategy because they don't have like used games and stuff, but they do work off of games as they sell them. They work off of the accessories and other things. But I do have to wonder, if you are a big box store and the Xbox already isn't selling, but then on top of that, we are going more and more digital to where the next Xbox, I'm going to tell you now, I'd be shocked if the next Xbox system has a disk drive of any kind. I think they're going all digital, and I think Play Anywhere completely shows that. Play Anywhere doesn't work with physical media. You're not going to put a disc in and then it work on everything, right? But if it's digital and they can deliver that digital copy in whatever way they need to, say for your ROG Xbox Ally system, or on your home PC, or on your Xbox Series, or whatever the next generation Xbox is, the system or the means of delivery can adapt for that. But if you have a game now that's disc-based and you don't have a disk drive for the next one, or hey, on your Series S, well, you have a problem. So Play Anywhere wouldn't work, and it doesn't really fit into that strategy of having physical games. So if you're a retail store and you already kind of see the hit that the Xbox section is taking, because I mean, again, we see the sales, we see the prices going up quite a bit. Microsoft has no problem raising prices. Eventually gets to the point of, does it make sense to have this section that's full of pretty expensive stock at that point as we order more and more? Or does it make sense to cut back on this section and maybe fill up $5 DVD bins? $5 DVDs probably are quite lucrative for them at this time. But like, there are other high margin things that you can fill up that space with. And when it comes down to arranging your store, what you would end up doing, and this is a long time ago, it probably is still the same, I assume, you would figure out your square footage that you were trying to dress up and sell, essentially. And you'd figure out how much, with all of your overhead, your rent and everything included, how much each square foot was worth. And then you would decide how that was divvied up. All right. Basically, you had to come out to a point where you were making money from your last month and your sales and stuff versus what you were putting up per square footage. And I just cannot imagine the Xbox section with the square footage is keeping itself above water. And that's probably why you're seeing this, which then makes me wonder, what does next generation, even for Microsoft, even this generation, look like if we see something like a Walmart or a Best Buy start to back away from it? I think right now with Costco, I look at it and go, I know it's third biggest retailers people are pointing out. I need to see a Best Buy, I need to see a Walmart or a Target go, No more Xbox until I more sound the alarms for this, because I do think it's still very important to be in retail stores, to be more consumer facing for this stuff, even though we've become more and more used to buying online. I mean, if you walk into a store and there's a Nintendo section, there's a PlayStation section, but nothing Xbox, there are probably some that'll be like, I guess it just doesn't exist anymore. I'll take the next PlayStation or the next Switch 2 or whatever, and that'll be it. Especially at the holidays. I know that, again, a lot of buying online, a lot of people also go into stores. So this is interesting for Microsoft right now to hear that Costco is backing away from Xbox. But will we see other ones, other big retailers? That's going to be the question and something to keep an eye on here. But again, let me know down below in the comments if you've noticed this yourself at Costco, or you know what, any other retail chain, because we didn't notice the Costco thing. It's apparently like a month later or something. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.